edition of the Sports One. And we are back. We got the full crew in the house. That is what it's all about. The Yankees, out of any team in the league, are the best equipped to handle a blow like this.
I think there is a higher power at play here. He's due law of averages. That dude is the ultimate scrub. It's trash. Yeah. Every person you have in there is fucking trash.
Next game, you're going to see a big performance. You can see it in the end of the game, and I'm just totally stoked and excited for this.
And we are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Court here on a Monday, the weekend that was, and what a weekend it was, capped off, of course, by the Rangers Game 1 victory over the Carolina Hurricanes. Everybody's excited for that.
Except for Chokery.
Wow.
Oh.
Tony, come on.
Come on.
That's really a shot, though.
Really, though?
I didn't say anything to him about it because,
you
it's a long series.
Yeah,
Just take it easy.
Oh, yeah.
But obviously so much excitement between that, the Knicks getting underway, game one against the Pacers tonight. And, of course, what a time yesterday at the DiPietro and Rothenberg pickleball match, Pickleball of America. Just an outstanding event. Great to see everybody as always. Had some great interviews, and we are going to have quite the vlog, Tony, from yesterday.
Dude, I was hearing some crazy things. What was it like, dude, watching pickleball for you?
No, I have to say what I was telling everybody, because everybody knows by now, me, pickleball, just not going to happen. But what I was saying is I think it works, especially what an event there, the Pickleball Center of America, I think is what they call it. Or Pickleball America, whatever. They did an outstanding job. Like the people working there, setting it up, everything was organized, everything was the way it should be. And there is something to like celebrity match stuff. I think that's always going to play, whether it's golf, whether it's basketball, pickleball. That's what made it. If it wasn't them playing, I think it would be a different story for me. But I actually thought it was like exciting to watch. It was an intimate setting too. I mean, you're right on top of the action. And especially all the buildup, between Amani and Anita and Rick and Dave, and the fact too that, maybe it was all Anita's doing, but I feel like she had a lot of people believing that, they were like the far better. I think she even said something like the odds should be minus 300, and they got absolutely worked. I have to say, really was never in doubt. I just could not believe what a job Rick and Dave did in the speed on some of the shots for Rick DiPietro. I mean, unbelievable. Seems like he could pitch a shutout in the Stanley Cup playoffs still. I mean, he was moving around like a cat, Tony. Really something. It really just, everybody was so nice, and it was cool because I hadn't met Anita before, but I had met, obviously Rick and Dave, but it was nice. Amani and Anita, very nice. So it was cool.
Nice.
And my dad, has always been a big Giants fan. So I was telling him, he was pretty excited.
He was jacked up? Yeah, that's cool.
That's cool. Meet him. Very nice, very laid back. But it was crazy. And I'm sure you heard him talking about it on the show this morning, but it's just like, mine was very chill. Then things started to go the wrong way. And he was tight. Sending the pickleball into the crowd, almost hit a baby at one point.
Oh my!
And then he just kind of left very abruptly after the match. So it was kind of nuts.
No post-game interview?
No post-game interview, but had a hell of a post-game interview with Rick and Dave. So I actually got Dave twice. And I have to say, probably one of the highlights really of all time for me. And I can't wait to hear the audio because I know Michael has some of it. Of Dave imitating me what I was asking him at the tailgate. God, I mean, that is one of the funniest things like I think I've ever heard in my life. But Lindor, aren't you kind of disappointed with him?
Oh my God, dude! Just what he wants to hear.
But yeah, like I was saying when I called in after I had talked to them on Thursday when we were talking to Doback last week, they're the best. Honestly, they really are. Like I always say, the fact that they give you the time, and you just can't beat that because I feel like there's just so many people, that are in position of power that just at the end of the day, like just don't give a shit about me and you.
Yeah.
And like it's like they're just gonna completely ignore us, and they're the complete opposite of that, and that's why they're the best.
Yeah, no, I think that they very much that's what it is. They're down to earth and they get it. Like they know what being a fan is all about. obviously, and they really like leaned into the company having a huge fan base for their show too, and like keep again like we took the train to Citi Field with them. Like how that's so sick.
Oh,
dude.
yeah,
Like, you
yeah.
would never find that, dude.
And
Come
then,
on.
oh my God, this is gonna bother me. What is his name? I'm sure somebody will comment and say this, but whoever, Troy. Troy is what's his last name? But he's like the program director.
Oh, for ESPN.
Yes.
Yes.
So he came up to me. I guess I mean, for what I remember, I don't remember like speaking to him before, and he goes, "You were the star of the tailgate. Like I saw you putting like the condiments like on the hot dog, and it's like ketchup, it's mustard, it's relish. I mean, every single one just completely nowhere near the bun." And that's why I had to say, listen, like let me just say this: like Publicans, honestly, great venue. But you don't need to jack up the espresso martinis, okay? I know there was like a little extra. They wanted to be rewarded for the good service. You were going to get that anyway. Like, there's no reason. I don't care what anybody says, Tony. I mean, come on. Were those not a little strong, though? I mean,
they were definitely strong. They were definitely strong.
You know what I mean?
Dude.
It was like I had 20 and I had 5. Like, that's come on. Because I feel like you've said that in other places before. You don't like when they go completely jacked up. And you've seen it before in different places.
I mean, it just doesn't make sense. Like, I don't want, like, you don't need a full glass of alcohol with just like a splash of your mixer, you know? But I mean, I don't think, they weren't bad. They were still delicious. I mean, I was fine. You know,
and I think, you know what, it wasn't the way I was looking for it, but I guess the one positive part of it did kind of create that experience, the Dave imitation, the a little notoriety for me. You know, next time it'll be for something different. So I guess that did come out of it, but it was just hilarious to hear that.
Jefferson, by the way, Josh B says.
Okay, Jefferson. There we go. Troy Jefferson. Yeah, he was very nice guy. And was helping us out, with the filming and everything. So that was great. And also, what I'm really excited about, because I haven't went yet. Basically, officially in for the beach bash, because they said it's the week before. This year, the 4th of July, because that's why I always couldn't go weekend before. So I've been wanting to go to that so bad, and like the timing's just been terrible the last 2 years. So great that I can go there.
That's gonna be
talking to everybody
so
how we're
much
excited
fun.
about about that.
Oh yeah, dude, are you kidding me? And I feel like with you there, because you've never been.
Yeah, and honestly, I'll be around to talk to Michael Kagas. He'll be there. I guess I don't know. They confirmed that or whatever. So just to ask him some Yankee questions.
Right.
I'll enjoy.
Yeah,
that.
I think last year the Yankees were in Oakland that weekend, so he was doing the game there.
And I don't know if that's no. It wasn't Oakland, because the reason I know, the only time they went to Oakland last year is Herman pitched the perfect game, and then Michael K wasn't on the call, but he was some other road
Minnesota.
Series. Yeah. Tons of comments to get started. What do we got here?
Of course, dude. We have, the early, the often, the usual Josh B with the fat. Let's go, dude. Was great seeing you guys yesterday. Love y'all. Rangers, great win. Knicks tonight. Hashtag TCA. Hashtag Sportsboard. Hashtag DTV.
And also, shout out Josh. I don't think you would have seen it because I didn't send a picture or anything, but I was wearing it yesterday. He got me an awesome hat made, the TCA hats.
Oh, let's go, dude.
With the camouflage neon orange stitching.
Oh,
looks
nice.
Ridiculous.
That is dope,
I was going for something unique. Haven't had a camouflage hat in a while, but shout out to Josh. He's the best with the merch, but we already know that.
We already know that, dude. A little orange, dude, for the New York Mets.
Orange.
Dude. I mean, I don't know, man.
Yeah. After this weekend, definitely there's a lot
Matthew
of
Gabriel, dude, says, let's go. Michael Buckner also says, what's up, my guys? He says, let's go. And he says, hashtag Northern California sucks. Hashtag Southern California rules.
One exception, Michael. You know what you're forgetting is in Northern California. Pebble Beach Golf Links. But other than that,
dude,
you probably have a point. Honestly, you want to stay south. And I'm excited, Michael. 2 weeks from Thursday, I will be in San Diego.
Wow,
Yankees,
dude.
Padres. So jacked for that.
Buckta shouting out Kev Du and Josh B, Matty G, and DTV, dude. Buckta wants to know how long you've been a Rangers fan and a Jets fan.
So Rangers, 3 years. This is the 3rd season.
That's correct.
So very nice, very new, Michael. Because I just feel like I've talked about this many times, but it's just so programmed that it's baseball, it's basketball, it's football. Yeah, okay, golf, but professionally, not until recent years have I really been, dove in. And with the hockey, I mean, it's just been a straight line up. Like never in my wildest dreams did I expect it to pass basketball. But it's just kind of one of those things once I really gave it a chance. And I think that's why for other sports, other things, a lot of times people are resistant for stuff, don't really give it a chance. And I mean, I can only imagine if I never did that, because for a while I just thought, hockey, come on. Like, what are we really talking about? There's not enough scoring. It's not exciting. But let me tell you, Tony, it is exciting. And I think everybody who watched Game 1 at the Garden yesterday afternoon would agree.
I think so too. That was a great game. Josh B saying she, as in Anita, was good. Amani stunk.
And
so it's pretty interesting there. Dude.
Tight.
So, like, what's the deal with Amani? Was he just no hand to eye? Like, you think?
Yeah, just errors.
Errors,
Tons
yeah.
of unforced errors.
You think maybe just like went into it, no practice,
Yeah.
didn't warm up,
I'm
nothing.
just chilling. I got this. Yeah.
Stuff to hear, dude. Michael Buck says, Josh B, I miss you. And then Josh B says, so glad you guys got to do that.
It was so awesome.
Bukta, he says, and he says hashtag TCA. My mother now says, good morning, fellas. Great weekend with Anthony.
Would we
That's
expect
me,
any
dude.
less, Mary? I mean, come on.
And then Michael Bukta says, Southern California has warmer weather than Northern California. Which, I mean, I guess that this is really what you're really into. And then he also says, Buster only is too good of a reporter. Need to promote that guy big time. Really?
I mean, he's a great guy.
He's
a great guy.
dude. Yeah.
And I have to say, I don't know what I feel like recently, like, I don't know if it's like with Coney and stuff, but I feel like they've done a good job of the Sunday Night Baseball presentation. I feel like I've enjoyed it. Like, I was watching Phillies Giants last night. That was an exciting game.
Oh, it was.
That was going on concurrently, Tony, with the Stars and Knights game, which was kind of.
And it was on right after the Rangers game.
Right after. So they lead in.
Yes.
Barnes, are you going to California in August as well? Yes, Michael. I will be there as well. So yeah, so excited about that. And also, I think I was just telling you on the phone yesterday, finally got that sub 90 round in at Sprain Lake over the weekend with Matthew.
Sick, by the way.
Jacked. And the best part, too, I was telling Matthew, this is why, and I've said this to you before, I'm sure I've said it to Michael, you don't get too tight, you don't get off to the best start. First 2 shots out of bounds.
Wow.
Best round of the season. So
see, now if it was, a body tumor, maybe with the first 2 shots, it'd be over, dude. Be hitting babies.
But yeah, no, excited for that. Excited to build on that as well.
Thursday,
today, a couple other days. You know how it is with me. But excited. I haven't played Griff Harris yet at Greenwich, so I'm going to do that later on this evening.
Griff Harris?
Griff Harris. Dude, not Harrison. Griff Harris.
Do we have 5 minutes on Griff Harris?
Great track, public, kind of right across from Westchester Airport, actually.
Oh, no way.
So it's kind of deep into Greenwich, but always in good shape, very popular for the locals there. Weekends very tough to get tee times. But if you take a look at it, I mean, it's a nice course. It's user friendly. There's definitely some tougher holes on the back 9 as well. I feel like if you probably go to the Google page, it might give you more pictures. If you just click on those see photos to the right.
Right here?
Yeah, no, I would go back actually.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, and then click on the picture up there.
Right here?
To the left. Photos. Yeah, click that. And then, you should be. I think they should show some anyway.
Yeah, pretty solid. Oh, wow, dude.
That's a sunset.
Nice, dude. The driving range. There's the clubhouse, dude. Yeah, it looks pretty nice.
Yeah. So definitely a solid place. I'm sure we'll be there at some point. But definitely excited about that. And speaking of golf, we did have Taylor Pendrith, Tony, winning the CJ Cup, Byron Nelson. So definitely coming a bit of a surprise. And really all the guys at the top, I mean, not a ton of big names. Ben Coles finished second, Alex Noren third, S.H. Kim fourth with Aaron Rye, Byung Hung An, Matt Wallace, Jake Knapp, another top 10 for him at 19 under. He finished eighth. Troy Merritt tied for ninth. And Zach Johnson tied for 20th. Steven Yeager tying for 20th as well.
There you go.
Minwoo Lee tied for 24th. Adam Scott tied for 30th. And then, like I had said, definitely some surprises too with Jordan Spieth missing the cut. A cut that was -6. So that just showed how the players were having their way with this course. And Pendrith had a hell of a tournament. 64, 67, 63, 67. So congratulations to him. And I actually think so. He's a Canadian, and I'm trying to see here. I think this might have been that was his first career PGA Tour win. So 32 years old. So you really appreciate that. Those guys who put in the work, and it doesn't come easy to them right away, but they stay with it. And he picks up a win. So that's great. And then we got dual action this weekend.
Yes,
dude. We have the signature event, the Wells Fargo. So that should be a great tournament. And then we still have the Myrtle Beach Classic. That's what we were talking about with Riley, I think, about the golf streamers who'll be playing in that one. Joel Damon, one of his guys, and one of Domac's guys will be in that Myrtle Beach Classic as well. So we'll talk about that as the week goes on. But let's go now to the world of Major League Baseball.
It's deep to left. It's 700. Albert Pujols.
Yeah, what a play! Stop it, Tony. Yep. And Alonso cracks one. The Mets win the ball game. Out of sight.
And it works at 100 miles an hour. 14 strikeout.
Too deep to left field. There it goes. See ya.
All right. So a bunch of comments coming in, and while Tony is taking a second here, I will read them. Michael Butka, Barnes, what beaches are you going in California this month? Honestly, not 100% certain, but based on where we're staying, Michael, it would make sense to go to Coronado. I guess since Tony's back in the saddle, we'll get to him on the rest here.
Oh, yeah, sure, dude. Let's see what beach did you go. Oh, Michael Domac, by the way, just texted me about this too. He goes, forgot my internship papers. As you guys know, he's our intern this past spring. Former
like
intern.
Garrett Cole, he's a free
now,
agent.
dude. Yeah. He has yet to bring his internship papers for me to sign, so he could maybe, I don't know, get credit for it. But it's a huge win for the Rangers. Texted me during the game, actually. Hurricanes sold a 6-on-4 with that dumb tripping
But
penalty.
it doesn't matter. We'll get to it. The resilience, Tony, of the New York Rangers. Let's fucking go.
Speaking of which, Bernie in the house
Great
saying
to see
morning.
Bernie yesterday.
He was there yesterday too?
Yeah,
Dude,
he was
Thursday
there
was
yesterday.
great. Just like one of those guys. He has that face that you're just like kind of like happy to see him, you know?
And it's kind of a coincidence. His nickname after Bernie Williams.
Yeah.
Who wasn't happy to see them if you're a Yankee fan, late 90s, early 2000s? And even now, if he's doing a song on the guitar in center field, the Yankee Stadium, what a guy. Honestly.
Yeah, dude. Speaking of that, too, Hot Take Johnny says, good morning, gentlemen.
Great to see him as well.
And he said it was great to
As
see
well
you all
as
yesterday.
it is to see Michael.
What a win by D, he says.
For a second, just because of the angle, the lighting, I thought it was iced coffee season for you, Tony. But
Thank you, Michael.
Can't do that.
Listen. Few and far between, okay, dudes. Whatever, dude. Michael Duback says Joel.
Riled for Joel.
Then Hot Take Johnny back in here says, what a win by DNR and the Rangers. That's what he meant. And then he says, let's go, dude. Domac confirms Yankees much needed sweep. And then, wow, Buckton wants all the info from you.
He's
dude.
California
Like, honestly,
dreaming.
dude,
Michael
he
Butka.
is. He absolutely is. He always is. Speaking of California dreaming, Michael, dude, is also
modeling
what
the
a
TCA hat. Shout out Josh P again.
Oh, sorry, hold on. There you go.
Tony's such a bad producer. It's crazy.
There you got.
Yeah.
All right, Michael
The
Theophil.
hat speaks for itself. I think that was the
dude.
point there.
Yeah, I think so, dude.
What
a great shot we have.
Michael Butka with the questions about staying, where I'm staying. So yeah, staying Hard Rock Hotel, Michael. And so
What
it's not
room?
a beach house. Didn't get the room number yet, but it's walking distance to Petco Park, Michael. And this is a business trip. Yankees need to pick up those wins. Beach is secondary. Don't forget that, Michael.
Business trip. All right, AJ.
What else we got here, Tim?
Oh, I'm sorry. Danny V says, Tony, missed you out there yesterday. Glad to see Barnes and
Good
Mike,
to see
though.
Danny, though.
Yes,
Yeah, it really was, dude.
Always
It really
is.
so sick,
Always
dude.
is.
And then Michael Buckner says, you look like you're about to go to Cabo. I'm assuming he meant Michael.
Oh, yes. He's definitely
right.
not Michael.
And then Hot Take Jai says, beautiful hat, Mike, with the exclamation points. Domac says, what an outfit. Who dressed you? Your mother?
Wow. I don't know
think
if
he's
those
throwing shade,
internship
dude.
papers are getting signed. Honestly.
Yeah.
Whoever fucking brings him in, for God's sakes, dude. Michael Buckner, what town in San Diego, Brian?
Well, it's San Diego, Michael. I mean, there's the Gaslamp District, which I guess is right where Petco Park is. So if you want to technically say that. Also, I have a question for Gaslamp.
I guess.
I also have a question for Domac because I saw in a story, the golf, he had the scorecard posted. Couldn't quite see the numbers. Like, what are we talking? I'm guessing he played Fairchild yesterday.
Oh, this weekend? It was yesterday?
Yeah. I saw it on Instagram, so if Domac can fill us in there. But speaking of the Diamond, it turned out to be an outstanding weekend for the Yankees. And Domac alluded to it. The fact is, you're coming off the heels of a highly disappointing 3 out of 4 losses against the Baltimore Orioles at Camden Yards. You rebound to sweep the Detroit Tigers, and that's something that I had mentioned that, listen, I mean, we'll take 2 out of 3, but really this should be a sweep. And we really almost didn't get there because Friday night, kind of the offensive struggles continued over from Baltimore. In this game, featured a pitching matchup of Marcus Stroman and Reese Olson. Olson shutting out the Yankees for 5 innings, allowing only 2 hits, 2 walks, but striking out 5. Stroman on the other side of things, 5 1/3, 1 run, but 5 walks. Very uncharacteristic of Marcus Stroman there. But he also had 3 strikeouts and got a no decision. And the whole thing of this game, the offense for the Yankees doesn't come till the bottom of the 9th inning, but that was fine. The Tigers, Stroman walks in a run to give them a 1-0 lead. But the 9th inning, the rally caps were on. And let me tell you, Tony, timing is everything. I was so jacked up. So Sam was over on Friday. And because she's actually in Aruba now, her and her family.
I saw.
So we were watching our show most of the night, and then she left because she had to get up early in the morning. So she leaves, and it just happened to be the bottom of the 9th inning. I'm so tight. Here we go again. We're going to get shut out. I literally to the point, me, I want to watch every single second, every single pitch. I was like, you know what? I'm going to probably just kind of track on my phone, kind of go to bed early. I'm kind of tired. And then I'm like, oh, Judge is up. I guess I'll just stream it on my phone for a second. Do that. He gets a hit up the middle, and then right away turn the TV on, watch the entire bottom of the 9th inning. And we talked about this a little while ago, and I think it was him who had a big bunt the other night. But Alex Verdugo bunting Tony for the base hit on a 2-1 pitch to give the Yankees first and second, nobody out. And that's just like true baseball instinct. And I think that's why we were saying, we were riled for Verdugo. He's a professional hitter, a professional baseball player. And you're going to give him the left side of the infield. He's going to take it. So he gets on. And I was shocked. So you have first and second, nobody out, but Stanton up. You're thinking, what is this, 75 to 80% chance that he's striking out or hitting into a double play? And he takes a 2-1 pitch, ropes a double. It was hit so hard, you felt like if the Tigers' first baseman caught it, it would have broken his hand.
Wow.
So he ripped down the line. That scores Aaron Judge. So that tied the game at 1. And then Anthony Rizzo comes up, and of course the Tigers trying to cut off that run, bring the infield in. Anthony Rizzo, a nicely placed ground ball through the infield, and the Yankees walk off, winning 2-1. So it was their first walk-off win of the season. So it was really nice, like I said, having that tough series in Baltimore. Last thing you wanted to do is get shut out by the Tigers. So the fact that you're able to rally, and I was shocked that Stanton came through. I mean, 97 miles an hour. First hit of a pitch of above 95 miles an hour all season.
That's crazy.
So coming at a great time. That's the Stanton that you want to see. And as always, too, the Yankee bullpen, which yesterday broke a scoreless streak of 20 straight innings, comes through. Ian Hamilton, a scoreless inning in the 3rd. Victor Gonzalez, a scoreless inning in the 3rd. And then Dennis Santana, a scoreless top half of the 9th. To pick up his 2nd win of the season. So then we were on to Saturday, a game that the Yankees ended up winning 5-3. This featured a pitching matchup of Clark Schmidt and Casey Mize. And I had talked about before this series, Mize, somebody that you felt he was very hittable, and he proved to be it in this one. Tigers, though, first batter, Riley Green, with a home run to right field, 360 feet. So here we go. Clark serving it up. Obviously, I was instantly tight. I was just getting to the back 9 with Matthew, and we were like, oh, I just hate when it starts this way. Fortunately, Giancarlo Stanton with a single in the 1st inning to tie the game at 1. Then the 3rd inning, the Yankees do their damage. A Judge double scores Anthony Volpe. And then Anthony Rizzo, the big blow, a 3-run homer, gave the Yankees a 5-1 lead, and that was all the offense they needed. Clark gives up 2 runs in the 4th to make it 5-3. But again, Yankee bullpen there when you need it. You get an out from Caleb Ferguson. And I have to say, I was kind of not a fan of his. Luke Weaver seemed like one of those guys, like, what are we doing? We might as well put Brett Tonkin out there or whatever you want to call him. But Luke Weaver has been great, hitting 97 on the gun with velocity, sharp break. He pitched 2 1/3 scoreless innings, 4 strikeouts and only 1 hit, no walk. And then Clay Holmes, a 4-out save, Tony, where he was absolutely dominant. And he really is pitching like the best reliever in baseball. And you want to say, oh, Mason Miller looked like he might even have been better. Clay Holmes is still not allowed a run this season. So it just shows how dominant he's been. So that was the second win of the series. And then came yesterday, the Yankees going for the sweep. And you really wanted to get that with the off day today. The Astros coming to town tomorrow. So excited to go to that game tomorrow. But Nestor does a great job. And, he's done a fairly good job all season. 6 1/3, 3 hits, 2 runs, 1 walk, 9 strikeouts. He ended up getting the no decision. Aaron Judge with a home run in the first inning gave the Yankees a 1-0 lead. That's Waldo Cabrera hit one down the line to make it 2-0 Yankees. But then in the 7th inning, Nestor gets into trouble. Ian Hamilton, ends up giving up a double here. And the Tigers end up tying the game after bobbled a double play ball. Seemed like the Yankees might have been able to get 2, but Volpe with a little bobble could only get 1, so that tied the game at 2. But who else? Bottom of the 7th, Juan Soto clearing the bases, a double down the line. And it was funny. Me and Michael were at Colony watching the game, and before Soto even came to the plate, I said, This is so awesome. And you love in this situation, there's nobody out, so bases are loaded. Everybody's thinking, I need the grand slam. I'm like, you literally just need a single. That will score 2 runs. He gets the double, clears the bases. He's just come up big for the Yankees all season long.
Love that,
and
dude.
that was the difference in the game. They ended up calling it, actually, after 7.5 innings due to rain. So that gave Victor Gonzalez the win, Dennis Santana save. And the Yankees, the sweep here, and also tied for second with the Orioles for most wins in the league. So at the end of the day, sure, you've had some games, some series that haven't went the way you wanted. But if you're, after 36 games tied for second in the league with most victories, they're clearly doing something right. And I think it only speaks to a more positive future here, because I feel like they really haven't hit their stride offensively. And that's only going to get better as the weather gets warmer and the bats will continue to heat up even more, Tony.
Yeah, it's also going to make for like a great pennant race. I mean, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like Orioles, Yankees at the top right now. Like that's going to be like huge on the stretch of the season.
Yeah. And obviously we already had, 4 games with them. So only 9 remaining. Do you kind of miss like the 19 matchups we used to get, or no? Division matchups?
I mean, yeah, I guess, especially in instances like this too, like in scenarios like that where we know it's going to be good, dude.
Right, exactly. So, but obviously it makes each game that important. And I know, the next time the Yankees face the Orioles, they're going to be determined to make a difference. But like I was saying, Yankees off today, and then start that 3-game set at home with the Astros. I'm going to get to see a good pitching matchup between Justin Verlander and Luis Gil, Tony. So I could be mistaken, but I think it is my first time seeing Gil in person. And I just love the fact, I get it. He's been a little up and down this year, but the ERA is pretty solid. The record's good. I just love that he has the ability to completely dominate a game. And that's what he did last time out in Baltimore.
Yeah, dude. That's huge.
Only 2 hits and 1 walk, striking out 5 in a 2-0 victory. So you love that. You love that Soto's getting big hits. It seems like Judge's bat is starting to heat up as well. And the bullpen has just really been there when you need it. And guys like Victor Gonzalez and Dennis Santana are developing into reliable options before, right in front of us. So just seeing that is great. And I'm really excited. So let's go Yankees. And I can't wait, like I said, to be there tomorrow. The Mets, unfortunately, on the other end of a sweep. What happened in Tampa this weekend, Tony? My phone.
Busy guy.
Yeah.
Monday. Nothing good happened in Tampa this weekend. You know, you said it, dude. Mets got swept this weekend. And I guess if you want to look at some of the good things here, we can. And you know, I guess starting off though with with Friday night here in Tampa. First game, they drop it 10-8. And again, you want to think about one good thing there. You scored 8 runs. However, Jose Quintana here, coming off of a great last start. His last start was 8 innings, like it was really good. Here he goes 2 2/3, give up 10 hits, 8 earned runs.
Like, what are you doing?
What are you doing in 2 2/3 innings? And I mean, it begs the question too, and we'll even talk more about it too when we recap the Sunday game too. But begging the question now of the ability of these starting pitchers, dude. I mean, using Jose as an example here. I mean, not barely at all this season. He went past 6 innings, does it once, goes 8, has a great game, doesn't even throw that many pitches. I think maybe threw 101 pitches. I talked about it, forcing a lot of ground outs, using a lot of off speed, forcing the contact. And the next start just gets absolutely pummeled. I mean, 65 pitches thrown, 42 of them were strikes, but they were all just so hittable. Like everyone, again, he had 1 walk, dude. It wasn't like he was walking batters on the bases and then giving up hits. Like he was giving up hits right away, dude. Nothing was working. I don't know if it was just because he was tired or what.
Just didn't have it.
Just did not have it at all. And I mean, again, you're the Mets, and we can start the scoring off right early, like we've been doing actually quite a few times this season. Beatty started scoring top of the second with a 3-run homer. Because again, with Savali on the mound, he's not that great. You're expecting to bat well. His final line was 4 2/3, 6 hits, 7 earned runs. Give that only 1 home run there. I think it's Danny DeLuca. No, Joey DeLuca or Johnny DeLuca. I think like first game back, broke his hand or something. Has like 3 RBI. Started in the bottom of the second when he had an RBI ground out. And like I said, that second inning was just hits left and right. Rosario scored. Caballero scored off a Meade double to right. Diaz singled, scored Meade. I mean, it was just absolutely just tacking it on in the second inning. And at that point, it's 3-3. So you're thinking, all right, the Mets, you're blowing it early. The bats are hot, whatever. Maybe, our pitchers can settle down here. Nobody settles. Okay. The third inning, again, leadoff hit by Ramirez. By Rosarena, and then Ramirez hits right after him, brings Rosarena second. Rosario singles to left. Jackson, sac fly RBI, classic at that point. And then DeLuca back up already in the third inning with another a 2 RBI single, and just like that, it's 7-3. And I mean, after that, they pull Jose Quintana. Finally, couldn't even get past that inning. Only getting the 2 outs. And then I guess Mendoza smartly goes with Nunez out of the bullpen again, shuffling guys around. This isn't, this is like a no-name guy, young. Obviously, I guess his line is okay. 2 1/3, gives up an earned run. But the Mets, you're just not able to come back from that. It's like it's 9-4 going into the 6th inning. You kind of rally back a little bit here at the top of the 9th. Again, talking about some things that were good. Beatty, another home run. Seems like his bat is heating up after just being atrocious for the first start of the season. But again, we'll get to him in the rest of the series because again, you want to be happy about scoring 8 runs. You're like, oh, that's great, dude. You scored 8 in a game. Like your next day starting pitcher bound to not give up 10. You're probably win if you're scoring 8 runs in one game. Well, wouldn't you know? Let's go to Saturday where they lose 3-1, Brian. Okay. Scored no runs, dude. Literally. And again, you want to focus on something that's good. Chuck Scott there, Charlie Scott.
Debut.
Never heard of him. Never heard of him either. 24 years old. Well, I have heard the name.
They kept cutting to his parents because I had that on. Me and Matt were watching it. It was on Fox.
So he got drafted in 2021 by the Mets from Florida, went to University of Florida. So obviously family at the game. We're in Tampa. A lot of people at the game for him, actually. And talking about rising to the occasion here, 6 2/3, 1 earned run, 6 Ks. Give it 5 hits. But again, I mean, obviously for someone's debut, apparently he was like tearing it up.
In AAA.
In AAA, which was pretty solid. But hey, I mean, for someone to look like the way he did, looked totally poised. Like he's been on the mound, like he's been pitching in the majors for a couple years now. And for that to be his debut, I think is phenomenal. Against the Tampa Bay Rays lineup that was hitting so well on Friday. And you'll get some of his pitches here. He's got a pretty solid arsenal. You know, he hammers the four-seam fastball, hits around 95, 96, but then he throws that changeup to kind of confuse batters as well. He mixes that in really well. And I think he has a slider as well, which has some decent movement on it. You know, he was getting a few batters the low and away. But I mean, his fastball was just pinpoint accuracy, painting the corners, then using the off speed to full batters. Absolutely love to see that from him. However, unfortunately, the Mets just could not score even in the slightest. You know, I mentioned, they had 6 hits. I'm going to take the box score in terms of hitting with runners in scoring position. They were 1 for 10 with runners in scoring position. So many guys were terrible. Even our big guys, Lindor, 0 for 4 that day, 0 for 2 with the runners in scoring position. Alonso, 0 for 3 that day with 2 strikeouts, 0 for 2 with runners in scoring position. That right there can never happen, especially in a tight game when you have some young pitcher giving you his all in his debut, dude. Like, he deserved that win. He couldn't get it. And then of course, I know I'm kind of maybe getting ahead of myself right now, but let's fast forward here. Let's say it's what, this 8th inning here. All right. So it's 8th inning. The score right now, I believe at this point in the 8th inning, it is 1-1 because you had a run scored by each team in the 1st inning, and then it was totally quiet. All right, so it's bottom of the 8th now, and Adam Ottavino, the absolute total shithead, is pitching for the Rays. And of course, all right, so he starts out, strikes out Siri looking on a 3-pitch at bat, just threw 3 strikes. All of them looked dialed in. Next at bat, Diaz takes a sweeper to center, singles. And then you have a walk, dude. Palacios gets walked here. So you have runners on 1st and 2nd, tie game. Paredes reaches an infield single to 1st. All right, another infield hit. What are we doing, dude? The Mets defense has been absolutely atrocious, especially in the infield, and we'll get to it 2 more from Sunday too. And wouldn't you know it here, Rosarina grounds to a fielder's choice. To shortstop, Paredes goes to 2nd. Palacios goes to 3rd. Diaz out at home. So there we go. Save the run. Finally, thank God we made the right decision there. And then up here, we have back-to-back walks by Ottavino. This is where he absolutely crumbles here. And of course, you have runners, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Bases are juiced here. All right. And there's 2 outs. And you have a 2-out walk, dude. A ridiculous 9-pitch at bat where you could really just, again, you look at that first at bat where he just threw sweeper, sinker. And in this at bat, he relied on those same 2 pitches, but just could not really find the strike zone, could really not put Shetton away. And then ends up walking him, which you really can't do. Walks in the run, gives up the lead on the walk, and then Sean Reed-Foley comes in for the Mets, which now I understand his last outing, I think maybe against the Cardinals, was solid. But I mean, this is a guy who's been in the Mets organization for a few years, and I've been personally screaming for him to get out of here. All right. Yeah. He shouldn't be on the roster, but I get it. Mendoza shuffling the bullpen guys around, starting pitchers have not been able to give you the length. But in my head, I'm just like, God, anyone else besides this guy comes in. All right. And then wouldn't you know it, dude, walks the first batter he faces. Okay.
1 and 2 count and the 3 straight out.
And 3 straight out of the strike zone. I know you can't be doing that, dude. And look at this. Those last 2 those 3 straight out ones, I mean, egregiously out of the strike zone. That last pitch for the walk, look at that 4-seam fastball way outside, looking for probably a foot outside that strike zone at that point, dude. Absolutely ridiculous. You walk in another runner, it's 3-1, and then of course next batter when it doesn't really matter, not as much pressure. Sean Reed-Foley strikes out Jackson to end the inning, and then you want to go up to top of the 9th here. At this point, I mean, the Mets just couldn't do it. I guess you had a chance here. You're only down by 2 runs, but they bring in Mayton here to pitch the 9th. McNeil pops out. Bader gets the walk. Beatty fouls out, I think on the 2nd pitch or the 3rd pitch. Unfortunately, fouls out there. And then DJ Stewart grounds out to 2nd, and the Mets lose that game. And now we can fast forward to Sunday, which I guess, Severino pitched on Sunday. And I guess, I don't know. Again, another pitcher, and they talked about it on the broadcast too. Last outing, 8 innings, great ball. Sunday, I mean, terrible. I mean, I understand now. Again, you want to watch this game. You want to look at his box score, and it's nothing to be great about. 5 innings, 4 runs, 6 walks, career high for Severino, 6 walks. So you really can't blame anyone else there. But I gotta say that first inning where he started giving up runs, or the second inning, his defense were not helping him. I mean, you had, errors by Beatty, poor throws by, I don't know what Beatty was doing at third base, but you had back-to-back plays where there was one where I think you had runners second and third, first and second, ground ball to Beatty. And instead of trying to get, again, he's at third base. Instead of trying to get that runner out at third, he just throws to second to get the runner out running the second. It's like, probably should get the leadoff runner there. And then another play where instead of going to first, he elects to go to second, trying to turn double play off a very quick ground ball to him. No outs, like doesn't get anything. Too late throw to second base. At that point, there was no throw to first base. And it's just like decisions like that for someone as young as Beatty. I understand he's young. It's his second season, really having a full year here, but you got to make better decisions in the field. And I'm not gonna lie, dude. Like, I know we joke around about like chiefing it, but I'm watching his face and like the way he acts.
Brett Beatty?
Dude, Brett Beatty looks like he's fucking stoned, dude.
Wow.
Like, he's just like, yeah.
Wow, the
like,
hashish.
Post-game interview after Saturday, losing 2 games in a row. They're talking about, oh yeah, we can't wait for the Knicks to be playing in our off day so we can go to a playoff game. What are we doing, dude?
Not focused.
Where's your priority? Exactly. You're making stupid mistakes. Okay. And again, I kind of blame him a little bit for giving up some of the runs that Sebi did, but Sebi didn't help himself out by walking players, having a terrible outing. And again, if you can't pitch 8 innings and then the next outing, you can't even pitch 5, like,
and
what are we doing?
This is
dude?
embarrassing too, because the Rays were playing like shit coming into this series. Not too long ago, the White Sox swept them.
Yeah, I mean, they had just as worse of a record as coming into this series as the Mets did, and the Mets had some momentum their way.
Yeah.
Like, you can't be doing this, dude, laying an absolute egg, dude. But again, I guess, here's your offense picking yourself up here. Lindor had that 2-run homer in the first inning, which is great. I feel like we've been scoring the first inning more so than we ever have been recently, but then we just give up runs in the second.
Where's the follow-up?
There's no follow-up, and then you're not scoring again for a while. And, you kind of take advantage of some poor pitching as well by the Rays using the opener, Ryan Peepo, I believe is how you say his name.
Peapot.
I don't think it is.
No, it is.
Are you sure about that?
It is.
All right, we'll see. But he was acquired from the Dodgers and the Glasnow trade, stuff like that. He, pitches 2 innings, 3 earned runs, nothing great, like hittable. And then at that point, it's a bullpen game. You tell me you can't get to any other bullpen guy. You have Rodriguez came in the third. He gave up 1 run, and that was off of a DJ Stewart walk, and then you couldn't get anything else. In that inning, you had runners in the second and third with 1 out. Lindor out, Alonso out, end the inning. Like, you kidding me? Another game too. Runners in scoring position. I would love to see. Where are we? You were 4 for 16 with runners in scoring position. I guess you had some turnover there, but none. And I was saying Saturday too, you were 1 for 10 with runners in scoring position. I mean, absolutely atrocious. And you ended up losing this game by 1. And again, like late game push here. Beatty ends up scoring on an error in the 10th. You take him to extras. Narvaez did pretty solid at home plate. Newman with the RBI single to score Beatty in the 4th too, to give the Mets their lead. But of course, you get a bullpen guy. Diaz came in the 9th, gives up a run. They end up forcing, the extra innings. You have to bring in Diekman here, who does not even get an out, dude. Again, talk about DeLuca again coming in. It's his first series in so long coming off of that broken hand injury. Mm-hmm. Played such a huge role in this series for Tampa Bay. Had that triple to center in the 10th, and that triple was so tough to watch because, obviously wasn't a routine play here for Bader. But how I talked about, Bader kind of looking like a little sluggish in the outfield.
Here you are.
A little slow to, again, like it had some air underneath it, but it was a well-hit ball to center, shallow center. Bader's on it, dives, misses. Ball gets behind him, 2-run score, and that's it, dude. But I get that, like, Bader is trying to make a great play in the outfield, and I would love that if it was like the 2nd inning, but right. It's the 10th inning here. Be smart. And like, if that ball gets behind you, the game's over, and that's right. Exactly what happened. Like, I don't care who was backing you up. If that ball gets behind you, it's over, dude. You could have taken it on the bounce. You could have probably thrown the ball in. Bader has a solid arm at center and maybe even held a run to third. Instead, they score 2 off a triple and the game's over, dude. So you got, again, these stupid mistakes in the field that are costing the Mets here, where they scored 6 runs.
Yeah. And in the other game, right? I mean,
The first game you scored 8 runs.
Yeah, and to get swept. Wow.
And then you're getting swept when you're scoring this many runs in a series.
Not buttoned up.
You had a rookie pitcher come out and pitch 6 2/3 or 5 2/3, excuse me, with 6 strikeouts. I mean, it's one of the better starts you've seen, and this guy's 24 years old, and you wasted it, dude.
Yeah, that's tough.
You had Ottavino, you're walking in a batter. You had a bullpen walking in runs, dude. And you're making stupid defensive mistakes. It was just a tough series to watch, dude. And again, you're coming in here and you're looking for 2 out of 3, and you absolutely get swept, and you're 2 games under 500 now. Oh,
Rick
my
and
God.
Dave sounded a
What'd
little
they say, dude?
concerned about Edwin Diaz. Velocity down, not the same guy.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about it too.
What is the ERA now?
What does it say?
Oh,
2.63.
2.63. Okay. But what were you saying?
I mean, again, he was doing great in his last 2 appearances. He's giving up runs.
Okay.
It was just these last 2 appearances. But again, the velocity is something we've been talking about. His first few appearances, he's throwing sliders. His fastball at 96, 97. We're like, oh, yeah, this is an issue, but obviously it's working for him.
But
now these past 2 appearances is not working for him. So now there is cause for concern because he has to adjust. Why isn't he throwing 101? Is it his knee? Is his knee not 100%? He can't really plant very well, right? What's the deal? Is he just not in shape enough? Because again, obviously coming off of a whole season where he did not pitch, maybe he isn't. It's early on, I guess. But then, something's odd. Something in his recovery maybe wasn't straight, wasn't as well along as they thought. But I guess we'll see. I mean, it's not like, it seems that Mendoza still does not think twice about sending him out there. So you would imagine he's healthy.
I think it's like the next time if he walks the park or gives up 5 runs, then there's a conversation. If you strike up the side, back to square one.
Right.
Speaking of square one, I mean, obviously this is so tough, but is it like, do you feel like it's kind of like this series right here coming up in St. Louis starting today? I mean, it's just go win.
Yeah,
I mean,
you have to sweep, dude. Like you
have to get the momentum back.
You really need it, dude. You gotta again, you said it, like start back from square one, get back to center, realize what you have coming for you. Cohen tweeted yesterday, which I do, it's nice that he kind of tosses some tweets out there sometimes. He says that, it's tough that you're getting swept in a series like this where you scored so well. You had some individual efforts that were really good. He said, but
are you kind of tired of him though? I mean,
I don't know, man.
At the end of the day,
but see, this is how he said, he's like, hey, I'm loving the way how we're not afraid to bring up our young guys. I have a lot of faith in the youth of our team. They're going to be our future, and you're going to see a lot more from them coming up. So I don't know if he's, again, maybe putting the pressure on Mendoza or putting the pressure on Stearns to bring up other guys from the minors who are ready. Again, this guy,
Scott? No.
Chuck Scott, Charlie Scott.
Hey, Chuck.
He's not, again, he wasn't even like one of our top prospects, Like we have other pitching process. We have other prospects that can play third base, play the outfield, get some bats in there. I think maybe you're going to start seeing, especially, I feel like, if this Cardinals series doesn't go the way they want, I think you're going to start seeing some significant moves. Mike Vassell. Again, maybe you're going to see like Drew Gilbert, maybe even Angel, getting moved up.
Are they doing
or
anything
even talks about him? Well, let's not check now.
Yeah.
But again, like nothing bad, but again, nothing as they're highly touted to be. But like we said, Cardinals game, we played the Cardinals not too long ago and did not do well. Miles not great. So, but again,
Gibson on the hill.
Gibson
should be
on the hill.
Practice.
Should be.
Was it last time? Because I think he faced the Mets last time.
Yeah, we faced the Mets last time. Did pretty solid. Even Miles Mikolas did pretty solid against us in that series too. So, but again, hey, you scored 19 runs in the past 3 games.
But can you pitch?
Can you pitch, dude? Do you have a closer? Can you get a solid bullpen? Yeah, Ottavino looks like an absolute trash bag out there. So again, and then it's tough for Drew Smith.
You're really not, but you're really
injured.
Not sick of Cohen though. I just feel like it's just like I don't want to see a tweet. Like I if I were you, I would want to just see wins.
No, I totally agree. But again, I think that it is cool that he's out there, like saying, like tweeting out there at the very least. The guy's a vocal owner. I appreciate that. And again, at the end of the day, I don't know. I feel like the moves they're making again, like that starting pitcher, that guy Scott. Like, what a great move to bring him up.
Right.
But your players aren't executing.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, at this point, I am totally blaming the players right now because you even saw some glimpses of what they're doing, but it's like Beatty's not, up to standard, obviously. Neither is Lindor at any point. Neither is Alonso, in my opinion. I understand he's hitting the ball well, but I mean, dude, you got to do better. He's doing okay at first base. He's made some great plays, but his base running can certainly help. Alvarez getting injured is tough. That's not Cohen's fault, All these pitchers, I mean, I just don't understand how these pitchers are not, they're just control is just not there, dude.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see. Well, I mean, again, you try to take it day by day, game at a time. Like Cohen said, the ebbs and flows of the season. Looking forward to the youth
Kind of
getting
almost
brought
reminds me of
up.
Brian Cashman, honestly, ebbs and flows.
I mean, listen, you're 2 games under 500. Okay, I mean, you've had a solid stretch at this point in the season. I mean, the Mets could go on a tear. I mean, they definitely could.
Yeah, it just
Again,
has to start right now.
It's got to start right now. Your bats have to remain hot, and you need something from your starters here. You got to give your bullpen a rest too. I mean, again, I know I've been hard on Mendoza, but I mean, he's shuffling around these bullpen guys because he's just using so many. I mean, it's tough on the bullpen, it's tough on Mendoza. Yeah. I mean, you got to have a reliable starter here.
What's the deal with Senga?
Oh, I think he started throwing simulated games,
but I mean, he's 6 weeks out.
Yeah.
Wow. But
fucking sucks, dude.
At least he's eventually going to come back.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you going to do till then? What are you going to do today? And I guess we will find out what they will do today in an abbreviated baseball frenzy.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's a new week around the Major League Baseball here. And we'll start out with the Mets, certainly 7:45 p.m. St. Louis, Brian. The Cardinals are taking them on here at Busch Stadium. Great stadium here. St. Louis minus 125 on the money line. So it could be worth a few shekels, but Mets are just plus 105, so not a ton. But Manaea on the mound, 3.07 ERA, which is pretty interesting when you really high whip, which is great. 1.43, a lot of walks, 18 over 29 in the third innings pitched. But like you said, Kyle Gibson with an ERA of 3.79, a 2-2 record.
Hittable.
And again, very hittable. And Manaea, again, take it as you want. A 3.7 ERA, 07, isn't really as bad as you would think watching him pitch, I would think. Alonso leading the team with 8 home runs here on the season. And you want to look at the last series where Cards took 2 out of 3 from us scoring. What is that? 13 runs over those 3 games. Us not scoring a ton. Our bats should be hot tonight, though, is what I anticipate. Over-under is 8.5. And I'm going to hammer the over, Brian. So give me the Mets here. I think an absolute hitting clinic on Kyle Gibson, and bullpen can't handle it either. I think early and often, first pitch fastball up and in. Nimmo takes it yard to give the Mets 1-0. And I'll give Marte a back-to-back homers there. I guess if he's third in the lineup, maybe not back-to-back. But a 2-0 start for the Mets in the first inning. They hold it down. Offensive explosion. It's a final score here. Mets win this one 8-6. Manaea, not a great start, but we'll take the dub. Brian.
We are going to go with the last game of the night first. And speaking of first, his first start in 2 seasons, Walker Buehler towing the slab at Dodger Stadium versus the Miami Marlins. Munoz drawing the start for them. Dodgers have been heating up. Ohtani's been on fire. So
thanks, team.
Expect nothing less here than a dominant victory. And your bottom dollar can get you a ticket to Chavez Ravine, Tony, for as low as $18.
Wow.
But I think the Dodgers, honestly, a complete bloodbath. And the Marlins over the weekend trading their best player in Luis Ariz to the Padres, which I think is a great move. 4 hits in his debut, by the way. That being said, Marlins aren't winning games much these days, so the Dodgers hammer the Marlins here. I'm going to say 11-3, so the Dodgers and the over.
Absolutely love that one. Walker Buehler, can't believe he's pitching, dude. That's crazy.
I know.
Good for him. Speaking of good for him, you mentioned it, Luis Ariz to the Padres here. They're playing the Cubs here, 7:40 p.m.
That might get him to the World Series, though.
Wrigley Field. It really might, dude. I mean, are you kidding me? Like, what do you go, 3 for 3? Is that 4 for 4? Unbelievable. Yeah. Did you also hear that in Miami, they gave up like 20 runs that game?
Yeah.
Like, ridiculous. Yeah. Like, the next game out. Anyway, let's go Padres here. Fernando Tatis Jr. for my fantasy team here. Let's give him a dinger here early on. And, of course, Luis Ariz. I mean, how do you not go for like a 3-for-4 night with a couple RBIs? I mean, absolutely ridiculous the way he comes into San Diego for them. Justin Steele's going to be in big trouble here. I believe a starter guy maybe or young. I'm not sure too much about Justin Steele, but 1.93 ERA through 4.2 innings pitched and 6 Ks through those 4.2 innings. But I think it's absolute batting practice with him and the Padres. Yu Darvish, huge bounce back start, I think, for him. A little underwhelming at 101, 3.45 ERA, but had a nice start against Cincinnati. 5 innings, no earned runs. Now we're here against Chicago. Bounce back for him because last time out for him it was 3 innings, 4 earned runs. Give me, for the second time this season, 7 innings out of him, 2 earned runs. Padres win this game. I'll say 6-2. Give me Padres and the over, Ryan.
I'm going to take the Rays to win their 4th straight here. They have a nice, easy series with the White Sox. And I know the White Sox just swept them in Chicago, but I think the Rays will get Matsuyama's revenge here with a sweep in Tampa. So back-to-back sweeps for the Rays. No pitchers announced. Doesn't matter who's pitching, Tony. I think Randy Arozarena hits another home run today. Rays all over the White Sox here. I'm going to say 5-0. So the Rays in the under.
Absolutely love that, dude. Speaking of doesn't matter who pitches here, the Phillies are taking on the Giants at home. Citizens Bank Park
Wraparound series going for the sweep.
Wraparound series going for the sweep, dude. Why am I on this page? Where's the Phillies Giants? Here we go. Zach Wheeler literally going for the Cy Young this year, 1.91, 42 innings pitched here.
Should he still be a Met?
52 Ks. Wish he was a Met, dude. Way to blow it.
Changes history.
Literally changes history, dude. And you let him walk, dude. You literally just let him walk.
Walk to a division rival.
Unbelievable. He'll be on the dish facing Mason Black here. I believe MLB debut for Black. Spells trouble, especially since Kyle Schwarber 8 dingers in the season. Alec Boehm killing it for my fantasy team. Trey Turner doing well. Obviously, you know about the other usual suspects. Bryce Harper there for the Phillies. I mean, I think absolute. We'll go over. Great question here. Phillies scored 23 runs against the Giants over the weekend. They're on like a 7-game win streak. The bats are hot. Sure. Give me Phillies in the over. A days of over. Zach Wilson. Zach Wheeler, dude. He could pitch easily 7 innings, maybe 3 earned runs. So yeah, sure. Phillies win this game. I'll say 7-3. Phillies in the over. What do you got, dude?
Last game, final game. 2 teams that have been struggling, but I think the Pirates are clearly the better team here. I think they'll sweep the Angels. The Angels are done. Tyler Anderson, great so far.
Mitch Keller
batting practice. By the way, Mitch Keller, nasty for me against Michael in MLB yesterday. 9 strikeouts over 7 innings.
My fantasy team, he sucks.
But he's not going to suck tonight.
I hope not.
He's going to do the same thing he did in MLB last night. 7 scoreless innings, 9 strikeouts. And the Pirates are going to win this game 5-0. Pirates and the under. And just like that, that's your abbreviated baseball frenzy. 23 comments. How many are from Michael Bucca?
13.
That's it.
Oh, Matthew Gabriel came in. Okay, all right, hold on. Let's go back here.
Domac.
Oh, Domac. Okay, all right, hold on. We have a lot to. Okay, all right. Josh Priest looking good. Michael, by the way, Michael's not here anymore. Though. Michael Buckta, maybe. Doesn't matter, dude. Domac says that photo was from some point this semester. Don't know off the top of my head. Probably a 55-9.
Hey, it happens, Domac. It happens.
Just looked. It was actually a 24-4. LMAO, he says.
As Tony would say, not terrible.
Not terrible, dude, but pretty bad. Michael Buck says, I'm a Santa Monica guy. The Santa Monica Pier is my favorite place.
Never been.
LA County is my area there. And then Michael Gabriel. Matthew Gabriel, dude, says, boy, Kev Dude, Domac, great weekend, dude. Mr. Domac says, Mr. Gabriel. That was tough for Clark. Matthew Gabriel says, the chairman of the company says, it was nice seeing you guys over the weekend. Renee, sorry I didn't get to say hi and give you a hug. Honestly, didn't see you there till the end. Please forgive me. Stay great to you all. And Barnes, keep away from the coffee martinis.
We did a good job of that yesterday.
They're not coffee martinis, they're espresso martinis, Lonnie. But I appreciate that.
Nevertheless,
difference, dude. But no martinis yesterday, dude.
No. Just a couple allegations. I'm calling it.
And Matthew Gabriel says Michael B says Lonnie, and then he says Matt, and then just wish you could have made it out. Sounds like a good time, man. He says Anthony. He says Barnes. He says go to Bon Amici, how are
White
you?
Plains, highly recommend it for anybody who hasn't been there.
Dude.
We will be back.
And then Michael Buck says Sunday was the biggest disaster of the weekend for the Mets. Tom Selleck. It was I would say it was the bigger disaster on Sunday, definitely.
Yeah.
Mets should have 2 out of 3 this week. Should have 3 out of 3, dude.
And Josh
There's M comes out here.
Fired.
Let's go!
Saying, let's go.
How's your fantasy team doing this weekend, by the way?
I did beat Kev Dew,
Really?
but I am lost out on a tiebreaker, so I'm down to 4th, but I won 8-6 over Kev Dew.
I absolutely hammered Riley, dude.
Wow.
11-2.
But he's still in 2nd.
Yeah, because he was 1 game ahead of me in
Okay.
first going into the week, and now he's 7 games behind me. And then Licky Boom Boom, who is that? That's not Josh B.
I forget. They told us before. I forgot.
But he's in 3rd. Your cruise control
4th, yeah.
4th. You're just 1 game back, or maybe probably a half game back, honestly, of 3rd.
Yeah, there's some tiebreaker.
Yeah, there's some tiebreaker.
Yeah,
but
good start to the fantasy season
dude,
overall.
Riled, dude.
Yeah, riled up, jacked up, and riled up for the world of the National Hockey League.
Here he comes. McDavid shoots. Top shelf. He scores. Captain with the overtime winner. That's the middle quick. That's a world-class hit right here. Kowski stepping. Rink Washington made the full split save.
Are you kidding me?
Turn. Side of the net between the legs and they score. Filthy. David Pastrnak. The silver trophy to the Golden Knights.
I mean, come on, Brian. Game fucking 1, baby. Huge win. Huge win.
And the best part, we heard that song not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 4 times yesterday afternoon at the Garden. A resounding 4-3 victory here for the Rangers. And what a way to start the postseason for the New York Rangers. 5 straight victories here after
solid.
the victory yesterday afternoon. Mika Zibanejad getting the scoring off there about 3 minutes into the first period. His 2nd goal of the postseason. And he was assisted by Roslovic and Foxy. Jacob Slavin, though, about a minute later, answering back to tie the game at 1. But Mika, call it 6 minutes from then, a power play goal to make it 2-run Rangers. Kreider and Vinny T on the assist there. So Mika dialed in early, had a chance at a 3rd goal a couple times, unable to find the back of the net. But Vinny T, a power play goal before the end of the first period, gave the Rangers a 3-1 lead here. Mika and Kreider in on the assist there. We had a defensive 3rd period where no goals were scored. Things got slightly dicey in the 3rd period. Martin Nikas about 3 minutes in with a goal to make it 3-2. But fortunately for the Rangers, 5.5 minutes later, Artie Panarin, his 3rd goal of the postseason, made it 4-2 Rangers. Laffy was in on the assist there. With the empty net late, the Hurricanes get 1 more goal by Jarvis to make it 4-3. But they hold on from that point. And like I said, win their 5th consecutive game to start this postseason. Igor, 22 of 25 in net for the Rangers. And it was just the way you wanted to start. And this is going to be a tough series. The Carolina Hurricanes are no slouch. That's why Vegas thinks they are smarter than everybody else and has favored them in this series, which is ridiculous. But at the end of the day, if you're a New York Rangers fan, there is a lot, Tony, to be excited about.
Oh my God, dude. Yeah. I mean, literally, the Rangers are playing some of the best hockey I've ever seen them play in my lifetime, dude. And again, you would think about, in the past when we had series against Carolina, against the Hurricanes. Yeah, we may play well. We may even beat them in the playoffs a few times. But, I mean, you're nervous the whole time, dude. And obviously, the last few minutes of that game, I was fucking
a little bit, but
pretty fucking on the edge of my seat,
hang
dude.
in there.
Oh.
And we talk about this so many times. And again, it happened yesterday where they get in a dangerous position where the puck is in, the Hurricanes offensive zone. They're right there. And Igor does whatever he needs to do. The Rangers clear the puck. I mean, it is tremendous when their backs are against the wall defensively. They answer the call every single time.
Literally every time. I mean, it's someone coming up big, like Miller with a steal, Truber with a hit, Fox, sliding across, blocking like a shot or something, Lindgren blocking a shot, or Igor just making a ridiculous save. I mean, there's so many obstacles and hoops that an offense, another team have to jump through to score in the Rangers. And the Hurricanes definitely saw that. Hurricanes, I think, were 0 for 2 in the power play that night, right? Yesterday.
Yeah. The PK is
or 0 for 5, excuse me. The PK, unbelievable. The Rangers 2 for 2 in the power play. Success in the power play. You love to see that. Not only that, I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, I just feel like even coming into this series, watching them against the Capitals, even watching them in the last few, couple months of the regular season, you were like, oh, the bottom six needs to help out and whatever. If we're getting the amount of effort and results from our top guys, Mika with 2 goals and an assist, Trocheck with a goal and assist, Kreider with 2 assists, excuse me here. And obviously, goals by Panarin, all these guys, doing their jobs here. Your top 2 lines, obviously that makes, the job better for the, bottom 6 players. But I mean, if they keep contributing like this, I mean, it's going to be so hard to beat the Rangers. And again, like, you didn't really get much contribution from your bottom 2, your bottom 2 lines. You didn't really see much from Kakko, from VC, which we've seen before, or from Wenberg, which is great, dude. I mean, because again, those guys are bound to give you some type of complementary goals in a few games this time, especially this series. And again, I mean, I don't know. I mean, the score was tight. The last, 10 minutes of that third period, I mean, the Hurricanes were certainly pressing, and we've seen the Rangers do this even against the Capitals too. We've seen games in the first round where the Caps just own them for the last 5 minutes of a 1-goal game in the third period, but the Rangers continue to kind of, obviously with their backs against the walls, like Brian was saying, kind of hold their own. Obviously, you don't want to have to do that. And I, Domac mentioned it before where, at one point the Hurricanes were about to be on a 6-4 man advantage, obviously pulling the tender, and the Rangers, with that delay of game, I think, power play, you never want to see that. I mean, again, the Hurricanes with a 2-man advantage, they scored with a 1-man advantage, with the empty net. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, obviously it didn't happen, because you had, I forget who committed a tripping penalty. And then you had a 4-on-4 opportunity, and then obviously it went to 5-on-4, and the Rangers still held out. But again, I mean, moving forward here, I mean, you still, the Rangers played close to a perfect game here. They did get outplayed, I guess, in the faceoff circle, outshot by the Hurricanes. But the hits were the same here. And again, they were perfect on the PK, perfect on the power play. I don't think I've seen that from the Rangers at all this season, having a 2 for 2 night on the power play. But again, I mean, you want to move forward in this series and still continue to adjust and be better. I think it's Jarvis that has 4 goals.
Yes.
In the playoffs for the Hurricanes. He had 1 yesterday against you. You want to try and keep him at bay. Clearly has been a hot goal scorer for the Hurricanes. You want to try and shut him down. You want to stay, you got to stay perfect here. The Hurricanes aren't a bad team. This isn't the Capitals. It was great that you came off of a rest, of a significant rest here against a wild card team in the Capitals that obviously, you were better than pound for pound. Now you came off that rest against a better team that is very close to what you are in terms of talent and opportunities. And you held them off, 3-4 back at the Garden here, at the Garden was rocking, dude, as they say.
Also, there was a window yesterday. Saw tickets get as low as $250, like kind of near before the game. Which
before the game,
yeah, like hour out. I mean, I think for playoffs, I know that's still, it seems a lot, but I think for playoffs, I mean, the way these tickets have been, I mean, that's probably as good as you're going to see it. I would think anyway for game 1 of the second round.
Yeah, for game 1 too. I
mean,
they're
probably surprised to see that.
Probably only get higher from there though.
You would think, but I wouldn't be surprised again if that like right before game time they get down a little bit.
But still, well, I mean, what a great game, great effort. I mean, not only do you win, but that game to watch was so freaking exhilarating. You saw some of the setups, by the way. Those first 2 goals were unbelievable by Mika. I mean, one on the power play too. So like silky smooth. The tic-tac-toe plays in the power play was great. And then even Panarin's goal. I mean, you give him any amount of space, he's taking a shot.
Yeah.
Absolutely roped it. It was so beautiful to see some of those goals, dude.
Yeah. everything you want.
Offense is churning.
And what a way to start the series. And obviously game 2 will be tomorrow as the Rangers will look to go up 2-0 before game 3 in Carolina on Thursday. And we now, after this weekend, have the second round, Tony, officially set. The first game 7 was on Saturday as the Boston Bruins in overtime.
Crazy.
Defeating the Toronto Maple Leafs. So the curse for Toronto continues here in the first round, unfortunately for them, taking Boston to the brink, almost completing the comeback, down 3-1. But David Pastrnak, Pasti, as they like to call him, Tony, sending the Bruins into the second round. But they are pretty decent underdogs here against Florida, who took them out last year. So obviously, they feel good. They were able to get out of the first round, but I think, they have a Florida Panthers team that is ready, that is riled, and is out for blood tonight.
Yeah, dude. I mean, if I had to guess like that, the Panthers, I mean, I don't know, man, if the Bruins have what it takes.
I think they're going to lose in 5, probably. I mean, Florida is minus 165 tonight. They're at home.
Yeah.
First 2 games will be at home, of course, but I just think they're too much.
I think they are too much. Physically, their speed is great. And I understand, Toronto, you look at them, look at their organization, the losing, the Maple Leafs, the curse, Canada. I mean, they are still a great team. I mean, you put them up against the Panthers and they'll give them a run for their money. I don't know if the Bruins will be, rolling over as much as losing in 5 games. I did you say 4 or did you say 5?
5. And by the way, speaking of 4, though, Bruins swept the Panthers 4-0 this year. So that might play at the heels of the Panthers. If you think about some bulletin board material there.
Yeah. Oh, no, that's for sure. And again, the Panthers are a team that's so physical. I mean, they're going to make, players like Brad Marchand, who's, obviously really good and cheeky, they're going to make him pay. So it should be interesting to see this series play out. Again, the history between these 2 teams, the recent history in the playoffs. I mean, it makes for a great storyline, makes for, I'm sure, when the games are at the TD Garden, I mean, I would imagine Bruins fans are not going to be holding back on how they feel about the Panthers. So if I were to guess, I don't know, I would say Panthers in 6.
Yeah, no, that seems about right.
Yeah.
The other game 7 was last night, and we saw the defending champs go down. The Stars beating the Knights 2-1 here, setting up a matchup with the Colorado Avalanche. So that'll be a tough task for Dallas, but they complete the comeback, down 2-0 in this series, win the last 4 of 5 games in this series to take out the champs. And I did doubt them all year, and it was by the skin of their chinny chin, Tony, but the Dallas Stars are on to the second round.
Yeah, dude. I mean, what a great series. You mentioned it, coming back, from being down in the series against, the defending champs here. But I mean, I don't know. We talked about it. We were saying this is going to go 7. This is going to go 7. And at that point, a game 7 is really anyone's game. And geez, dude, was this anyone's game? A tight 2-1 goal. I think it was a late goal too, right? In the third period.
Yeah. Well, beginning of the first.
Beginning of the third.
Yeah.
By Foxa. It's very interesting, honestly, the way this game 7 panned out. Hill played great in between the pipes. So did Ottinger, obviously only letting up a goal. But you really didn't see, guys you thought of on the score sheet, like a Jack Eichel, like a Barbashev, even like a Howden.
What about
and even from Dallas,
Stevenson, Marshall, yeah,
none of those guys. Even again like Rupe Hintz, Jody Benn.
How about the Dallas coach? He's 8-0 and game 7's now. I forgot. I don't know if he's coached anywhere else or who he even is, what his name is. I don't know. But
nothing on their coach.
Mention that. I mean, might as well look it up just to kind of get a sense there. Peter DeBoer. What's his deal?
Dude. Let's see, dude. Canadian guy,
coach for Florida, the Devils.
Coach for the Devils.
Go to his Wikipedia page. That'll give us.
Wikipedia.
No,
Dallas Star head
coach. I
coach.
think you always botch this. Just go to his page at the top. Yeah. And go down. All right, there. Okay, so Florida Devils, Sharks, Knights. I didn't realize he was the Knights coach.
A lengthy career
coming over after Gallant.
Yeah, that's correct, dude.
And then has been in the Dallas
Mhm.
the last 2 seasons. So they move on. So like I said,
Great
second
coach.
round is set. The only other game matchup we didn't talk about, and that'll get underway, I guess, on Tuesday. Edmonton and the Canucks. And like I said, the Stars will be playing the Avalanche. So some good hockey here. Second round as we move closer and closer to the Stanley Cup Finals. And that sets up, Tony, a abbreviated, full-on hockey frenzy.
Okay, this is abbreviated and it is full on. Let's freaking go. It's Monday. 8 p.m., Brian. Let's freaking go. Panthers hosting the Bruins, ESPN Amaret Bank Arena in Sunrise, Florida. Tickets as low as $200, which is honestly, pretty solid, I guess. I think I would go there.
Yeah.
Let's see. Here we are. 5.5 over under. You mentioned Florida being favored by us 165. What do you got, game one, dude?
I mean, give me Florida. I think Boston's a little bruised up from their series, with Toronto. I think Florida makes easy work of them here, scoring early and often. Maybe Reinhart with a hat trick. I'm going to say Panthers 6-2. So getting the revenge for that season sweep in the regular season by Boston. So Panthers and the over.
Interesting. All right. I'm definitely going to go under, and I think I may even take the Bruins.
Seems a little crazy.
It doesn't seem that crazy. Plus
Pretty
140
crazy.
on the money line. And I believe if you look to this series back in last year, I guess around this time last year, the home team actually lost most of their games, which is pretty interesting. And we actually have seen that in other series too this year, Dallas, Vegas too even. But nonetheless here, I think this is going to be a goaltending standoff here. As you get Swayman, obviously great goaltender, Bobrovsky as well. Phenomenal job so far in these playoffs. I know there's a lot of offense here, but we've seen the low-scoring games. And just looking real quick at the regular season series here, they have relatively low, I suppose. Bruins even winning an OT in that last game. I'm going to say Bruins win in regulation here. I'll say 2-1 Bruins. Pasta with the late third period goal to put them past their coach. Happy with him, dudes.
Completely ridiculous, Tony. And just like that, that is your full-on abbreviated hockey frenzy.
Probably the most abbreviated frenzy we've had.
Probably so, Tony. Probably so. And really, other than that, we did have some decent games here in the NBA over the weekend. The Cavs winning a game 7 yesterday afternoon to advance to the second round. We have the Clippers going down in the first round once again. So the Mavericks advancing to the second round, beating them in 6 games. You also have the Knicks, like I had said in the open, having their series with the Pacers starting tonight. So that's, a classic matchup, you could say. So that, that's going to bring some excitement, and we get back to the scheduling of Rangers, Knicks, and it reminds everybody of 94, of course. And I do think, I think there's some more juice for us, Tony, as we get later into the playoffs, especially if the Knicks are able to prevail in this series, a series which they should win. I think they're definitely, the better team than the Pacers, but a win here, gets you one series away from finally, getting back to the NBA Finals. So this could be a New York story here.
Do you think so?
I think they're going to beat the Pacers in 6 games. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, they're the better team. The Pacers have, I think, the bigger names, the Halliburtons, the Miles Turners of the world.
Right.
But I just think the Knicks they're playing team ball. That's what it is at the end of the day. That Villanova pedigree chemistry, that Brunson and Hart and DiVincenzo have. And not to mention what a job Tom Thibodeau is doing, the head coach.
Yeah, and it's kind of crazy. To think about his ridicule over the course of the season too, playing certain players so many minutes. And again, maybe it'll catch up. Maybe it'll still be a
Hasn't caught up yet
throughout the playoffs. But yeah, like you said, it has not caught up yet. And you could even say that because these players are getting so many minutes that they're actually thriving.
Mm-hmm.
And again, that's pretty evident in their wins and getting past the first round. And now, like you said, I guess, they're playing that type of team ball where they're like looking to beat another team with bigger names. A team too, the Pacers. I feel like they were pretty. I guess you could say a surprisingly good year for them.
Yeah, because they've kind of been mediocre
yeah.
for a little bit now.
So, I mean, it makes for very interesting storylines. And I mean, I don't know. You listen to ESPN radio. These Knicks fans are absolutely like out of their minds, calling in, screaming their heads off. NBA championships in sight. Some of them do, like literally thinking we're going to win the championship. It's over. Give us the Celtics next. They suck. Like Porzingis.
I mean, there is a
not
scenario. I'm not expecting it, but I mean, there definitely is a scenario where they could beat the Celtics. It's possible.
Really?
I mean, it's not like, oh yeah, the Celtics are going to sweep them. I mean, it's not like that. And especially the way the Celtics have choked. I mean, not to play into Michael Butka and Jason Tatum, that whole thing, but I'm just saying crazier that we've seen bigger upsets before.
We have seen. That's true.
Is there juice for you now that we're in the second round, or do they need one more round before you're really like getting out of your seat, Tony?
I would say one more round.
Yeah, but would you say out of your seat after that or no?
I would say out of my seat, yes.
Yeah,
but I'm not getting out of my seat now.
I have to say I was a little out of my seat, and part of that, I did pick the Nuggets in game one, but the Timberwolves, Anthony Edwards, back-to-back 40-point games. I think it was history for someone 22 years old. They steal game one. And yeah, that was 2 days ago. No, 2 days ago. Yeah, on Saturday night. Saturday night. So game two is tonight. So Timberwolves looking to grab 2 on the road. I would think the defending champs will have something to say about that. And then tomorrow you'll have Thunder Mavericks and Cavs Celtics. Donovan Mitchell, obviously, with a big game 7 yesterday. What do they have in store for Boston? And I think this Thunder Mavericks series is interesting. Obviously, all eyes are on Luka. Can he finally make the run with Kyrie? But the Thunder, are they ready? They're a young team. Gilgeous-Alexander and Chet Holmgren have had great years. That I think that's an interesting series. I think we're going to see some good series here. Really, the only one that could get out of hand, I think, would be Celtics Cavs. I could see Boston sweeping or winning in 5. All the other series will probably go at least 6 games, I would think.
Yeah, I could see that, I guess. I don't know about the Thunder, though.
What do you mean?
I think they're going to lose.
Number 1 seed going down?
Yeah, I do think so.
Well, how come?
Young, like you said, inexperienced, can't handle it.
But Luka, playoffs the results haven't been there yet. But is this the time?
This is the time.
Giannis
it feels
time?
right, dude. And I gotta say, I mean, I don't know, dude. I mean, Luka's just looking good, and I know he's never really been, I guess, the best looking player. It's not like he's shredded.
What are you trying to say?
He's a little chubby boy, is he not? But he's just got like the touch for it.
That chubby.
He's a little chubby. And then on top of that, I mean, I just feel like Kyrie. I mean, I don't know, man. Anytime I watch him play, he's making some crazy like handles, like soft floater to the rim, straight in. I mean, his touch with the ball is absolutely ridiculous. So, and again, like you talk about 2 veteran players at this point, have a lot of playoff experience. I would side with the experience there.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying. I mean, they definitely are due to break through. That's for sure. I'm guessing Bernie's booing because he's a big Nets guy, and we're talking Knicks or no?
Oh yeah, I thought maybe.
What else would it be?
I guess so. He's booing the Knicks.
Yeah, I would think so.
All right. I guess that's what you're into.
Hey,
yeah,
right?
Man. Yeah, Bernie.
But it is crazy, Tony. How much is going on right now?
Are you juiced up for the NBA?
It's funny. Matt brought this to my attention. I feel like I'm just a little juiced up for the Knicks now because like the 94 parallel.
Yeah.
So like
something else happened. There was another thing that happened. Oh, Judge getting ejected.
Oh, yes.
Last time Yankee captain was ejected, 1994.
Yeah. So, that was ridiculous too, by the way. But these umpires,
that was like, was that a young umpire too? Did I hear that? That was like his second time behind the home plate or something?
No. This is a 10-year vet.
Who was it? Do you know the umpire? Maybe it was a different game.
It wasn't CB Buckner, no. Because he's been around for way longer than that.
Interesting. I wonder, do you know what Judge said to him?
Just about the strike zone, probably that you're making some bad calls. And it's just like, if you're the ump, I mean, come on. At the end of the day, are you making it about you? Because no one cares about you. Everybody goes to the game to see Aaron Judge. And you're taking him out of the game because of your ego. I don't know. I just think players have done worse and not get ejected. So I think at the end of the day, that's true. That's some bullshit.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Speaking of that's some bullshit, Danny V says definitely Barnes.
But yeah, hopefully, for his sake, the Nets this offseason, maybe turn it around. Connor Gilchrist, saying pasta,
hyped, big Bruins fan.
Your student?
Connor, not my student, but graduate student in the SEM program. Working through the
Reds.
games. I don't go to Reds, but he has definitely been to Reds. He goes there often, I'm sure.
Okay.
Big
Gotcha.
Donovan's guy in Norwalk.
Donovan's. Okay, I've heard of that one. Never been there. But
it's all right. Irish pub food. Shepherd's pie, Brian. Actually,
and then a couple more from our OGs here.
Yeah, Michael Buckett says, Barnes, I think you should hit Belmont Park in San Diego. It's an amusement park right on the beach, which you would love, he says.
Tony knows.
Amusement parks, roller coasters.
Yeah, I'm just not a ride guy, Michael. You know. Listen,
speaking of a ride guy, though, Josh B says, he said that was a shit call. You've been shit all day.
But like I said, put the ego aside. Josh B knows it. I mean, you think Paul O'Neill didn't drop a couple of F-bombs and he was ejected? He wasn't ejected every time. I mean, sure, he was ejected. Yeah. Sure, a couple of water coolers got damaged and stuff. But, hey, it happens. So, yeah, I thought that was a little crazy. But, yeah, I'm so excited to go back to the stadium tomorrow. And I can't believe I'm going to be in San Diego 2 weeks from Thursday. I mean, that is crazy.
It really is nuts, dude.
So I'm so excited about that. And he says, Barnes, no rides for you. Come on, man. Yeah, I mean, Michael, it's just one of those things. I don't need to be whipped around and tossed upside down. I mean, at the end of the day, you know, if I want to catch a breeze, I'll put down the window. I don't need to go
Tony, come
on a roller coaster. I will say, and I don't need it. I would be fine the rest of my life if I didn't go to one. But I do take some type of enjoyment of water parks. I think those are fun. Water slides. I don't know about you, Tony, but do you like that stuff or not?
I love water parks.
Yeah, water parks are great.
I also love amusement parks. What about like amusement park games and stuff? Like, you know, like the little.
No,
I
mean, I'll do the best thing, but then again, let's play 5 on 5. Like, I don't need some shootout to win a stuffed animal, Tony. Like, you know what I mean?
What if it was like a Yankee bat or something, you know?
You put Yankee
Jersey,
in it, of course. I mean, you put
yeah.
Yankee on anything, it's gold, Tony. You know that.
God.
And last thing here from Mr. Bucket, do you think the weather would be a nice San Diego for you? Yes, Michael. I've been looking at the weather right now, actually, and, you know, a good mix of high 60s, low 70s, full sun. And that's really what you see in San Diego most of the year. That's why it's great. Never too hot, really never too cold. Obviously, occasionally you have your cold spells, but being there as many times as I have, it's always been great, honestly. Yeah. It really, really has. And it would be really, it's honestly, it's right there for you, Tony, because you don't like to be hot. And it's like, it's not hot,
right?
But it's not cold. And I feel like that's just perfect for you. The big breeze, that ocean breeze.
The breeze is huge, dude.
Yeah. So, and then not to mention the little Italy section. Playing
dude.
Right up your alley. And I believe, Michael, this is number 5. I'll have to count them up, as Tony would say on a part 5, right? Tony?
Yeah. Yeah, that's for sure.
But that being said, here we are, another great show, and really appreciate everybody who tuned in and continues to comment, like, and subscribe. All of the archives on the YouTube page, Tony, Michael, Renee, and Jay, and Costume the merch at downtimetv.com. We want everybody to enjoy the day, enjoy the games, and we will see you mañana.
Hey guys, Tony here from Downtime TV checking in. I want to thank all our fans out there who's been liking, subscribing, sharing our content. You guys are the best. You guys are our bloodline. You make us love what we do. Thanks again.